Oh, I want baby girl.
Don't baby girl me. How many of your groupies you call baby girl? Is Tisha a baby girl? Is Amanda a baby girl too? And who the hell is Bonquisha? Is that even a name?
Man, I can't
What is going on, everybody? Good night. Welcome to Sharane's World. Good night, everybody. Welcome. Yes, welcome, everybody. Welcome to Sharane's World right here on YouTube. Hope everybody's having a blessed night. Let's go. Let's welcome everybody on my YouTube channel. Let's welcome everybody on my support group, on my support group page, and my main page. Big round of applause to everybody. Especially if you support the movement, like big round of applause to you. Especially if you understand, even if you've never been in a situation, as long as you support the movement and you get in the tools so you don't fall trapped into these situations, big round of applause to you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all get the tools in your pockets so you can understand what's going on and what's going wrong, especially in them clubs and them bars and them dating sites. Okay? Y'all already know it's Thirsty Thursday. Yes, Thirsty Thursday awareness right here on Sharane World. Let's go. Let's get into it. Welcome to Sharane's World, everybody. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss another video, especially when I come live. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, no matter who you are, male or female. Hi, my name is Sharane. I'm a peer mentor survivor for domestic violence and narcissistic abuse relationships for all men and women. I'm a community peer mentor survivor right here locally in Binghamton. Okay? Yes, yes, yes. I advocate for myself and I also advocate for others out there that don't have the voice, that don't have the energy to get out there and do it. I'm the voice for others. I'm that strength for others. And hopefully, no matter who you are, can get up out there and get the same strength as well. Okay? Listen, the whole goal is, by you opening up your third eye, you being able to pay attention. When you coming out these situations, it is good to get some type of counseling. Coming from a survivor point of view, it's the best way to get about these situations. Getting counseling, go to your doctor, understanding what's going on with you. It's not to say, oh, I'm crazy or whatever. No, you just went through some bad toxic things and you kind of need to understand what's going on with your body, right? So yeah, so make sure y'all check your blood levels. Make sure y'all, you do all those type of things, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Because when you come out these situations, it can set you all the way off. Like it can have your blood levels all the way off. It can have your vitamin D levels off. It can have your magnesium levels off, your iron levels off. It can have everything off, okay? Yes, it will have it all off. So, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to what's going on and going wrong with yourself. Even if you are actively in a domestic violence relationship right now, no matter who it is, male or female, please make sure you reach out, speak to a doctor. I know when you guys go to these doctor's appointments or you go to like Department of Social Services or, if you're applying for SSI, whatever it is, I know they ask these questions. Are you subject to the domestic violence? Do you feel safe at home? I know every time I go to the doctor, they ask them questions. They ask these questions just to see if, you need the help if you're going to open up to them, because who knows, you have to open up to ask the person. Because what if they don't want to open up or too scared? All right, but ladies and gentlemen, you can speak to one of your doctors about whatever you got going on and going wrong, and they can give you some resources and point you in the right direction. And your doctor can also help you in another angle as well. Okay. Yes, 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 ladies and gentlemen. So listen. The whole goal is for you to understand. So when you're coming out these situations, you want to get counseling. You want to set yourself away from all the negativity, right? So you may have some friends that got negativity going on. You may have some family members that do, and they may not understand what you have going on. So if you have anybody like that, just understand that, you know, there's other people out there that can hear you out, and listen to you, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to go through your situation alone, no matter if it's domestic or a narcissistic abuse that's mixed with domestic issues. You don't have to go through that situation alone. There's other people out there that's not your family. You understand? There's other people that will listen to what you have to say and that can probably point you in the right direction that can help soothe whatever you have going on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you have to be the one to help as well. Okay, so yes, that people can give you the resources, people can do this, but you have to want to take that help and get it as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. The whole goal is what? Is breaking the cycle, okay? You have to break that cycle, ladies and gentlemen, because if you don't, you will continue to fall victim in a trap that you do not want to fall victim into, okay? So listen, you know, I know when I was in the RISE program, it was really good because the RISE program have DV shelters, they have counselors, they have advocates, they have people there to actually help you out with whatever it is that you have going on. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get into Sharane's World. So let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about when manipulation shows up in bars, clubs, and dating apps. Okay. This is why I tell you guys to stay off the dating apps because this is where they lurk at. I gave y'all a really good example. My narcissistic ex is definitely lurking on dating apps. And there are people out there questioning things because the narcissist is still out there doing what the narcissist does, right? Because that person doesn't want to change, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you watched my video earlier today with mental illness, I gave you a nice good rundown on how they operate. Okay. So I'm gonna read you guys something to let you guys know how these people operate and watch your back when you go to these clubs, these bars, these shindigs, after hour spots, wherever it is, and they in apps. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. When manipulation shows up in bars, clubs, and dating apps. Let's talk about something people need to pay attention to. Not because every person in a bar, club, or dating app is dangerous, but because some people use these environments to look for attention, validation, control, or people they believe can manipulate. In Binghamton, this conversation matters here too. I'm not saying every woman or every man in Binghamton is toxic. I'm saying we need to pay attention to behaviors that can create unhealthy relationships, unnecessary drama, jealousy, manipulation, and conflict in our community. Sometimes people bring what looks like love and hip hop or baddies behavior into real life. Constant arguing, relationship triangles, jealousy, fighting over attention, social media beef, showing off, competing over men and women, positive private relationships, problems online, and constantly moving from one person to another without taking time to heal or reflect. That behavior can become normalized when people see it over and over again. But let me tell you something. Chaos is not love. Jealousy is not love. Control is not love. Attention is not love. And somebody constantly creating drama around you does not mean they are passionate about you. A person with strong narcissistic traits may spend a lot of time in social environments because they enjoy being noticed. Bars, clubs, and parties and dating apps can provide a constant supply of new people, attention, compliments, flirting, and opportunities to create new connections. But remember, going to a club, going to a bar, using a dating app, or being social does not automatically mean somebody is narcissistic. We are looking at patterns of behavior. On a dating app, someone may come across extremely charming in the beginning. They may compliment you heavily, heavily. They may tell you that you're beautiful. They may tell you that you're different from everyone else. They may make the conversation feel intense very quickly. You might hear, I've never met anyone like you. I feel like I've known you forever. You're exactly what I've been looking for. The important thing isn't one compliment. The concern is the pattern and the speed. Some manipulative people may try to move the relationship forward extremely quickly. They may want your phone number. They may want your social media accounts. They may want personal information. They may want to know where you live. They may push for an in person meeting before you have had enough time to learn who they really are. This can sometimes become what people call love bombing, an overwhelming amount of attention, affection, compliments, promises, or communication early in a relationship. Then the behavior may change. The person who constantly calling may suddenly disappear. The person who was giving you compliments may start criticizing you. They may become jealous when you talk to other people. They may demand constant communication. They may question where you are. They may become angry when you establish boundaries. And they may try to make you feel guilty for saying no. That is where people need to pay attention. Another warning sign could be boundary testing. Someone might start with something small. You say, I'm not comfortable meeting tonight. Instead of respecting that answer, they pressure you. You say, I don't want to give you my address. They keep asking. You say, I don't want to send private pictures. They become angry, guilt trip you, or tell you that you don't trust them. Those moments matter because healthy people can accept the word no. You don't have to prove that your boundary is reasonable. You don't have to argue about it. You don't owe someone access to your body, your home, your money, your phone, your passwords, or your personal information just because you have been talking to them. Now, let's talk about clubs and bars. A person looking for attention or control may repeatedly move through different social circles. They may flirt with multiple people. They may collect phone numbers. They may maintain several conversations. They may constantly look for someone new who will give them attention. Again, that behavior alone does not prove narcissism, but if someone repeatedly lies, manipulates, pressures people, disrespects boundaries, creates jealousy, or treats people as disposable, those are behaviors worth taking seriously. And sometimes people confuse being wanted by everybody with being loved by somebody. Those are two completely different things. You don't need 10 people fighting over you to prove that you're valuable. You don't need somebody to make another person jealous to prove that they want you. And you don't need to participate in somebody else's competition. Another thing to watch for is triangulation. That means bringing another person into the situation to create jealousy, competition, insecurity, or confusion. For example, someone might deliberately flirt with another person in front of you, then watch your reaction. They might tell you, everybody wants me. They might compare you to another woman or another man. They might say, my ex was better than you. The goal can be to make you compete for their attention. Don't compete. If somebody has to make you jealous to keep you interested, that's not a healthy communication. Now let's talk about social media. Social media can make unhealthy behavior look normal. People can post perfect relationship while everything behind the scenes is falling apart. They can post expensive dinners, vacations, flowers, gifts, romantic messages, and beautiful photographs. But social media doesn't show you everything. A picture doesn't tell you how somebody treats their partner behind closed doors. A dating profile doesn't tell you someone's character. A romantic post doesn't prove somebody is a healthy partner. A profile is not a background check. Take your time. Verify information when appropriate. Don't send money to someone you have never met or don't fully trust. Don't give someone your home address immediately. Don't share passwords or security codes. Be careful about intimate photographs because once you send something digitally, you can lose control over where it goes. And when you meet somebody for the first time, meet in a public place and make sure somebody you trust knows where you are. Most importantly, listen to your instincts. If something feels wrong, you don't have to stay because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. You don't have to continue talking to somebody because they bought you a drink. You don't have to go home with somebody because they complimented you all night. You don't have to answer somebody's messages just because they became angry when you stopped responding. And you absolutely do not owe anyone a relationship. Binghamton, this is where I want people to really listen. We don't have to turn our community into a place where drama is entertainment. We don't have to normalize fighting at clubs. We don't have to normalize jealousy in relationships. We don't have to normalize people humiliating each other online. We don't have to normalize manipulation on dating apps. And we don't have to normalize toxic relationships just because we've seen them so many times that they start looking normal. We can choose something different. We can choose healthy communication. We can choose boundaries. We can choose respect. We can choose accountability. We can choose peace. And if somebody keeps bringing chaos into your life, you're allowed to step away. Remember this: charm is not character, attention is not love, chemistry is not trust, promises are not proof. Watch what somebody constantly does, not just what they say. Healthy people respect boundaries. Healthy people can accept rejection. Healthy people don't need to control your friendships. Healthy people don't demand immediate access to your private life. Healthy people don't punish you for saying no. And healthy relationships should make you feel respected, not constantly confused, frightened, pressured, or controlled. So whether you're meeting somebody at a club, at a bar, through social media, or through dating apps, Slow down. Get to know the person. Protect your personal information. Keep your boundaries. Don't ignore red flags because somebody is attractive or charming. You don't have to participate in somebody else's chaos just because they invited you into it. If someone repeatedly makes you feel unsafe, manipulated, pressured, or controlled, you have every right to step away. Your safety is more important than somebody else's feelings. This is about awareness. This is about protecting ourselves. This is about educating our community. And this is about reminding everybody listening, you deserve relationships built on respect, not confusion, control, jealousy, and drama. Binghamton, let's choose peace over drama. Let's go, everybody. Welcome to Sharane's World. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody is getting this information. If you're in the Binghamton area or the surrounding areas, the whole goal is for you to get the tools and use it. Ladies and gentlemen, you gotta understand what's going on and going wrong. Because if not, you will be stuck in a clown show, right? Yeah. You don't want to be stuck in that clown show, ladies and gentlemen. It's not cool. It's not cool. So if you are in a situation, please make sure you get up out of there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are definitely gonna get into this again. Let's go. Welcome everybody. Let's go. Welcome to Sharane's World on this Thursday awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into some more awareness before we head up out of here. We already know they at them clubs, them bars, them shingdings, but don't worry about it. It's Thursday awareness. They out there and they doing whatever they doing in Boone County. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get into what is narcissistic personality disorder. Okay. I'm gonna give you the examples, like you know what it is. They operate. Let's go. Let's get into this. So w- today I'm gonna talk about something called narcissistic personality disorder, also known as NPD. Okay. NPD is a mental health disorder involving a long-term pattern of grandiosity, a controlled need for admiration, a sense of entitlement, and difficulty showing empathy towards others. A person with narcissistic traits may constantly need attention, praise, or validation. They may believe they are more important or more special than other people. They may expect special treatment and become very upset when they don't get what they want. Another important characteristic can be difficulty recognizing or caring about another person's feelings and needs. In relationships, unhealthy narcissistic behaviors can sometimes include manipulation, controlling behavior, blame shifting, gaslighting, love bombing, devaluing someone, and repeatedly crossing boundaries. But I want to make something very clear. Not everyone who acts selfish, controlling, manipulative, or hurtful has NPD. MPD is a clinical diagnosis that can only be made by a qualified mental health professional. You don't have to diagnose somebody to recognize that their behavior is hurting you. Pay attention to patterns. Pay attention to how someone treats your boundaries. Pay attention to whether they take responsibility for their actions. And most importantly, pay attention to how the relationship makes you feel. If you're experiencing manipulation, emotional abuse, intimidation, or control, you deserve support. This is about awareness, not diagnosing people. Know the signs, protect your peace, and don't ignore unhealthy patterns. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so that is what MPD is, but we are going to break down what is grandiosity, uh, narcissist. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna break that down. We're gonna let y'all know what is the difference of the narcissist. Because there's different types, ladies and gentlemen. That's crazy. And we're gonna break them down to you guys because it's crazy out here in these streets. Let's go. Welcome to Sharane's World, everybody. We are definitely going to read what they are. So there are different presentations of narcissistic traits, but an important distinct is that the official diagnosis is narcissistic personality disorder, so it's NPD. The popular labels such as covert narcissist or magnet narcissist, there you go, are not separate official MPD diagnoses. So there are different type of narcissists that's out there, and everybody has a different type of narcissist. The most normal, common narcissists that's actually out there are the covert narcissists. Okay, especially the one I dealt with. He's a covert mixed with other type of mental disorders. Okay, so let me break it down like this. They can have narcissistic personality disorders, but then they could also have other disorders mixed with it too, like mental health issues. Okay, so the common discussed types are grandiose, that's the overt narcissism. It's basically, all right, so a grandiose is an overt narcissism. So it's basically what they do is they are so if anybody out there you dealing with somebody that's narcissistic or you don't even know, like you don't understand what you're going through, male or female, this is how they operate for a grandiose overt narcissism. They act boastful and attention seeking, wants recognition and admiration, acts superior to others, feels entitled to special treatment, may openly dominate conversations and relationships. Then you have the vulnerable, covert narcissism. Okay? It's crazy. How these kind of people act is they may appear shy. Like I told y'all, my narcissistic ex was a covert narcissist. He's never been diagnosed. And I'm just saying that's what he is. That's how he operates. Okay? Yeah. So a vulnerable, covert narcissism may appear shy, insecure, or withdrawn. Can be extremely sensitive to criticism or rejection. May feel overlooked or unappreciated. May seek validation indirectly. Can respond to perceived rejection with resentment or withdrawal. That's crazy work, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So the magnet, Vagrant, whatever we want to call those people, right? Narcissism, the official, non-official clinical term, not a separate DSM diagnosed. It is generally used to describe severe narcissistic traits combined with characteristics such as aggression, hostility, paranoia, or antisocial behaviors. So, ladies and gentlemen, you could be dealing with a narcissist, like a covert narcissist that, you know, have these other kind of tendencies. They may not go out there and, want to come kill you and things like that, unalive you and stuff. But then you have, you know, the malignant narcissisms, whatever you want to call them. Then you have those. So for those kind of narcissists, it's something like a Carlos. Rest in peace to Wamika Meeks up in Chicago. Um, so Carlos is one of those type of narcissists, okay? Dangerous. They'll come after you, hunt you down. They want you gone. They're evil. All right? Those type. Okay? They coming after you, they want to unalive you, they want to do all types of stuff. Those type of narcissists. Okay? So y'all gotta be careful with the type of narcissist that y'all dealing with. All right, y'all gotta know the difference, the types, and it's crazy, how they operate. Okay. Uh, what else we got? There's a lot of narcissists out here in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. So it basically says a person can show more than one presentation, and their behavior can change depending on the situation. Also, having confidence, being ambitious, wanting attention, or occasionally acting selfish doesn't automatically mean they have MPD. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all got to do your research. If you're dealing with a narcissist that's dangerous, and they want to unalive you, they want to do all this wicked stuff, then know the type of narcissists that you out there dealing with, because they are crazy out here in the streets, and there's no cure to this at all. So now you're dealing with people that have narcissistic personality disorders and different traits and all this different stuff, narcissism and narcissistic. Like, listen, there's no cure to this stuff. And then these people could have this diagnosed, and then they could also have other mental issues as well, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all gotta pay attention to what you're dealing with. So you could deal with somebody that has um a narcissist, they could have narcissistic personality disorder, and then you could deal with somebody also that have schizophrenia mixed with it and anxiety. That's set for a disaster, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying that is set for your early grave. Okay. Yeah, you messing with somebody that got narcissistic personality disorder, and then they probably got schizophrenia, maybe anxiety, depression, PTSD. You don't know because they're not going to get themselves any type of help up out here in the streets, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so y'all got to stay focused out here in the streets, and y'all messing with these narcissists. And these people, it's just not cool. You want to set yourself to an early grave when you're out here messing with these narcissists. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna bring it back again because I know I read this on my last video, but I'm gonna bring it back again so you guys to get a big difference on what is a peer mentor survivor and what is a licensed domestic violence advocate. Okay. Yes, so we are live on Sharane World right here on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna get into that. We just gonna let everybody come in. Make sure y'all share the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So make sure y'all look up, see if you subscribe. If you're not, hit the subscribe button, okay? And then turn the notification bell on so you don't miss another video, okay? I appreciate everybody. We're gonna get into the next awareness right after this. We just gonna take a little break, you understand what I'm saying? But we're gonna get into some more before we get up out of here. It's that Thursday awareness. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna bring this back again on what is the difference between a peer mentor survivor and a licensed domestic violence advocate. Okay, we're gonna get right into it. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, for viewing, for liking, for supporting. You know, like I said, I could do it by myself, but I can't do it without the community. So round of applause for everybody out there. Let's go. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm absolutely happy. Like I want to see somebody else be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just so go. No matter who you are out there in these streets, I'll just be peaceful, happy. That's the goal. Let's go. We about to get right into it. If you haven't already, make sure you tune into YouTube. Click onto the video on my support group page. Come on in, no matter who you are. You could be the supplies in the cut too. Come on in, join Sharane World. Let's go. We about to get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sharane's World. Welcome to Sharane's World, everybody. You know, it's that Thirsty Thursday awareness right here locally in Binghamton. Everything is about the peace, about the awareness for all women and men about here in these streets. So right now, I'm about to get in here and show you guys what is the difference between a peer mentor survivor and a domestic violence licensed advocate. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So what we do as peer survivor advocates, as a peer survivor advocate, we use our lived experience to educate, encourage, listen, and support survivors. We can listen without judging or blaming the survivor. Share what we learned through our own healing journey. Help people recognize domestic violence and different forms of abuse. Talk about red flags, manipulation, control, boundaries in healthy relationships. Encourage survivors to create a safety plan with qualified professionals. Help survivors identify trusted people they can turn to. Help connect survivors with local DV programs, counselors, shelters, victim services, and legal resources. Accompanying or support someone at appointments or court when permitted so they don't feel completely alone. Educate the community through radio, social media, events, schools, and community organizations. Speak up against victim blaming and help survivors understand that abuse isn't their fault. Encourage survivors during the healing and rebuilding process. Our strength is lived experience and peer connection. Sometimes hearing from someone who has survived can help another person feel understood enough to reach out for professional help. Now, we're going to talk about what a professional DV advocate does. So, what a professional DV advocate does, a professional domestic violence advocate has specialized training and works through DV organizations, victim service programs, or other professional settings. Depending on their organization and training, they may conduct a more formal safety assessment and safety planning, help a survivor understand available options and services, make referrals to emergency shelter and other housing resources, help with applications and assessing community resources, provide specialized court advocacy, and help survivors navigate the court system, connect survivors with attorneys or legal services when legal assistance is needed, help with protection order processes within the limits of their role and jurisdiction, coordinate with other victim service providers, help survivors access financial, housing, counseling, transportation, and other support, maintain professional confidentiality according to applicable laws and organizational policies, policies. Advocate with agencies or systems on the behalf of survivors when their role allows it. The important difference, a peer survivor advocate says, I've been through something difficult too. I understand how overwhelming this can feel, and I'm here to support you and help you find the right resources. That's what I do. That's what Sharane World does, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is what a professional DV advocate does. A professional DV advocate will say, I'm trained to provide specialized advocacy services, safety planning, referrals, and assistance navigating systems available to survivors. And the two can work together, peer mentor survivors and professional DV advocates. As peer advocates, we shouldn't pretend to be attorneys, therapists, investigators, or licensed professionals. We don't diagnose people, give legal advice, promise court outcomes, or make decisions for survivors. Instead, we become another bridge to help. That's especially important in Binghamton, in the Southern Tier, because sometimes the first person a survivor opens up to isn't a lawyer or a professional advocate. It might be a friend, a peer mentor advocate. It might be a community member, a radio host, or another survivor. Our responsibility is to listen, take them seriously, avoid judgment, and help them connect with right professional support. We don't replace DV advocates. We stand alongside them and help make sure survivors know that help still exists. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. You guys got to make sure you're staying safe right here locally in Binghamton. Because I know what's going on and what's going wrong. And it's just not right, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of men, it's a lot of women that's going through domestic violence out here. Um, there's just a lot of issues going on the internet. There's a lot of toxic things, too much going on in the clubs and the bars, on them dating apps. It's a lot, you know. And ladies and gentlemen, I keep telling you, I've been telling y'all since February, since I've been coming up here. If you go back to all my YouTube channels, you know, if anybody been up here following me from day one, from all my YouTube channels, you can hear me say that stay up out them clubs and bars and them shindigs, them after hour spots, okay, them social dating apps and everything, because that's where they lurk at, that's where they be. And long behold, you know, I see the information that the narcissist is out there still doing narcissist work. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. And it's just not cool. You know, you want to be able to try to save everybody, right? Nationwide. You know, I want to be able to save people that's in other areas and other towns, right? Because I do spread awareness on my support group page that, you know, there's a lot of people that's there that's not from New York. You know, I get people from everywhere that's on my support group page. So shout out to everybody that's not in New York State. Okay, let me give you a round of applause. Yes, absolutely, because it's real. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's absolutely real. We definitely gonna get into something else. Welcome to Sharane's World, everybody. Y'all got me tonight. It's that Thirsty Thursday awareness. We know they at them clubs and them bars and them shindigs, but you know, one of them after hours done got shut down. So they don't probably went to another after hour spot, ladies and gentlemen. Binghamton just doesn't understand. Nobody's out here is gonna get the awareness. They all just, they all toxic. And it's not everybody, but I'm just saying, y'all understand what I'm saying, okay? Yes, absolutely. So we're going to get into something else. This is going to be, I've read this before up here, and also I read this on my radio show too, but we're going to bring this back for anybody that's new or anybody that's tuning in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sharane's World on this Thirsty Thursday awareness. Hold on, because Sharane World didn't put up her Thirsty Thursday awareness, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all can take a look at the Thirsty Thursday awareness banner because this is what goes up on a Thursday Awareness Day, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Yes, that's gonna go up on a Thursday Awareness Day, and everybody's gonna get the tools that they need. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's just the whole goal is for everybody to get the tools and understand what's going on and what's going wrong right here in Boone County. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So I am going to read something in a few minutes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that I did read on here before. But we're going to get into it again, and that's just what we're going to do. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be my story about what happened in 2019. I'm just going to give it a snippet. I read this on my channel already before, but we're going to run that back again. I'm just setting up something real quick behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, and we're going to do this. Listen, shout out to the WBDY 99.5, ladies and gentlemen, because listen, Sharane will be learning how to do all that production stuff in the background, okay? I don't learn how to run a whole radio show, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for me. Yes, 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 I sure did. And it's amazing. Okay, so I'm just back here fixing some things, getting some things fixed in real quick, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're gonna get right into it. Let's go. Yep, yep, yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all staying safe tonight. Right here locally in Binghamton or the surrounding areas, or if you're in New York City and you are getting my awareness, let me just say, round of applause to you because you know I got people down in New York City watching my videos. You already know. This that Thirsty Thursday awareness banner. Last Thursday this was up. And the next Thursday is gonna go up until I switch it up, and we're gonna have another Thirsty Thursday awareness. All y'all out there need to drink some water in Boone County. Y'all had too much liquor, too much liquor, too much in your system. I don't know what's going on with your kidneys. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, it be too much going on out here. But we about to get into this information. Let's go. Welcome to Sharane World, everybody. So I'm going to give you guys just a snippet of my survival story. This is not the full story, but this is just half of a glimpse of the story. If you ever want to know Sharane's World full story, you can always ask. I have no problem answering questions. It's just, are you going to be able to take the information that can be given, ladies and gentlemen? Because, it's real. Domestic violence is real and it's not a joke. When people want to tell their stories, it's not a joke. If I was to sit here and tell you, oh, did you ever know Tiana McLaughlin, had a gun, a pow put to her head before? And if you was to sit there and laugh as if I was a victim, that would make another victim feel some type of way. But I'm not in that stage anymore. I'm way past that. I'm into thriving. So if I was to tell somebody now, like, hey, I had a gun put to my head and X, Y, and Z, and if I was to see you laugh or whatever, to me, it would be like, okay, this person is not aware. This person, of course, they've probably never been through this before, or they're just not fully aware what domestic violence is, right, ladies and gentlemen? So, listen, this is why I say y'all gotta educate yourself and always ask another survivor, a peer mentor survivor, or any advocate. Like, what is their story? Like I said, there are licensed advocates that probably never had domestic violence that went on with themselves. They went to school, and this is their profession. Okay, and then you have some licensed domestic violence advocates that went to school for it as well, but then they actually went through it too. So then they can understand as well. All right. But then you have peer mentor survivors that actually survive those situations that can give you more details on another end, right? So we're gonna get into this. Let's go. So this is Sharane World, my survival journey, turning my pain into purpose. Okay, this is not the full story. I'm only giving you guys half of a glimpse. Like I said, if you ever want my full story, you can always ask me. I don't have a problem giving it to you. Right? This is Sharane World. Okay. Hi, I'm Sharane. Welcome to Sharane's World, everybody. Tonight, I want to share something deeply and personal. I want to talk about my journey as a survivor. the experiences that shaped me, and why I continue to use my voice to bring awareness to domestic violence and abuse. I want everyone listening to understand something important. Behind every court case, every report, and every situation involving abuse, there are real people. There are real emotions. There are survivors who have to wake up every day and continue living what they experience. My story is not just about what happened to me. My story is about how I survived, how I rebuilt myself, and how I found my purpose. One chapter of my survival journey involves Kawan Imes. In 2019, Kawan Imes was arrested in Johnson City, New York. Public reports stated that the arrest followed a domestic related investigation. News reports stated that police recovered a loaded handgun and illegal substances during the investigation. Court records later show that the case went through Broome County Court. The records state that after a jury trial, Kawan Imes was convicted of charges including criminal possession of a controlled substance in a third degree, criminal possession of a weapon in a second degree. Hold on, we're going to run this back. Court records later show that the case went through Broome County Court. The record states that after a jury trial, Kawan Imes was convicted of charges, including, get the counting, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this video, criminal possession of a controlled substance in the third degree, criminal possession of a weapon in a second degree, criminal possession of marijuana in a third degree, and criminally using drug paraphernalia in the second degree, and menacing in the second degree. The appellate court record also discusses evidence presented during the case involving a firearm during a domestic situation. And the conviction was later affirmed by the appellate court. Okay, so it was later affirmed by the appellate court. But when people hear about a court case, they often only hear legal words. They do not hear the survivor's voice. They do not see fear. They do not see the emotional pain. They do not see the healing process. They do not see what happens after the cameras are gone and the paperwork is filed. For me, this was not just a case. This was my life. This was my experience. This was part of my survival journey. Domestic violence can change a person. It can affect how you trust, how you feel, how you see yourself, and how you move forward. But my story didn't end there. In 2024, I found myself facing another painful chapter in my life involving a relationship where I experienced what I described as narcissistic abuse with Mr. Smith, aka Naquan. This taught me that abuse is not always physical. Sometimes abuse comes through manipulation, emotional control, gaslighting, blame, and making someone question their own feelings and reality. Many people do not understand why survivors stay or why leaving can be so difficult. They do not see the emotional attachment. They do not see the confusion. They do not see the hope that things will change. They do not see the fear starting over. Narcissistic abuse can slowly break down a person's confidence and make them feel like they have lost their own voice. But I found my voice again. I learned that survival is not just about leaving a situation. Survival is about healing. It is about rebuilding your confidence. It is about learning that you deserve peace, respect, and safety. I share my story because I know there are women and men listening right now who may be struggling in silence. Maybe you are questioning your relationship. Maybe you feel afraid. Maybe you feel like nobody will believe you. Maybe you feel like you have lost yourself. I want you to hear this. You are not alone. Domestic violence and abuse do not discriminate. It can happen to women, it can happen to men, it can happen in different forms, including physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, and controlling behavior. This warning signs matter. Okay? So the warning signs, they do matter, ladies and gentlemen. Control is not love. Fear is not love. Manipulation is not love. Making someone feel powerless is not love. Today, I choose to turn my pain into purpose. Through Sharane World, YouTube, and my radio show, and my Facebook group page, my community awareness work, my survivor advocacy, and I will continue creating conversations that may that many people are afraid to have. I want survivors in Broome County, Binghamton, and the surrounding communities to know there is hope after trauma. Your past does not define you. What happened to you does not take away your worth. You can heal, you can rebuild, you can find your strength again. Your story is not your shame or my shame. Okay? My survival is my strength. My voice is my power. And I will continue standing for survivors, women, and men because every person deserves to be safe, respected, and heard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sharane's World right here on YouTube. Yes, 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 ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all get the tools that y'all need if you're right here located in Boone County. Okay? If you're dealing with anybody, ladies and gentlemen, my flyers are nice. But listen, let me tell you something. What is narcissistic abuse? I'm going to give you the rundown of some signs. Narcissistic abuse is emotional and psychological manipulation by someone who seeks power, admiration, and control over others. Common tactics that they can use is gaslighting, making you question your reality, love bombing, followed by emotional withdrawal, blaming you for everything, silent treatment, manipulation, constant criticism, controlling behavior, isolation from family and friends, lying and deception, emotional neglect, threats, and intimidation. Over time, narcissistic abuse can damage confidence, self worth, and emotional well being. And then we're going to ask, what is domestic violence? Domestic violence is a pattern of behaviors used to gain power and control over a partner, spouse, family member, or someone in an intimate relationship. So it can have physical abuse, it could be hitting, punching, slapping, choking, pushing, or restraining. Emotional abuse, constant criticism, humiliation, intimidation, or threats. It could be verbal abuse, that's yelling, insults, name calling, and degrading languages. Psychological abuse, it could be with manipulation, fear, isolation, and controlling behaviors. Financial abuse, controlling money, preventing employment, or creating financial dependence. It can have sexual abuse, any unwanted sexual contact, or coerce. Digital abuse, monitoring phones, social media, GPS, emails, or online activity. Stalking, following unwanted contact, repeated messages, or harassment. Warning signs. You may be experiencing abuse if someone makes you feel afraid, controls where you go or who you talk to, checks your phone or social media without permission, constantly insults or humiliates you, threatens you or your loved one, makes all the decisions, controls your finances, blames you for their behavior, makes you feel like you're walking on eggshells. And the effects of abuse can lead to anxiety. So these are the effects that you can get: anxiety, depression, PTSD, low self-esteem, isolation, difficulty trusting others, sleep problems, chronic stress, fear, emotional exhaustion. Healing is possible with support. And I need you guys to remember, all women and men, abuse is never your fault. You deserve respect. Asking for help is a sign of strength. Women and men both deserve safety and support. So, how the community or anybody else can help? Believe survivors, listen without judgment, respect their choices, encourage professional support, share community resources, speak up against abuse. Okay? Together we can break the silence, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Welcome to Sharane World. Yes, it's that Thursday, Thursday awareness. Let's go, everybody. Yes, y'all gotta stay focused out here in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. I know y'all at them clubs and them bars and them things and them after hours spots. Well, y'all ain't make it to the after hours spots because it's not 3, 5, 6 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But we already know what y'all gonna be doing on the Thursday, Thursday awareness in Broome County. Hmm. Y'all gonna be doing some shame things out here. We listen. That police scanner gonna be going off. It's gonna be DV calls going on. It's gonna be everything going wrong. But the whole goal is for everybody to just get this awareness. I'm just happy to come up here and talk with you guys. I got my show tomorrow. I'm super excited. I'm super ready. You know, we're gonna be talking about some good things. So if you haven't already, make sure y'all tune into the WBDY 99.5 FM. Okay, so it's 99.5. Tune in if you get that radio station. If not, you can go online to the website wbdy.online and you can tune in to listen now. So you can listen to the radio station online and you can listen to when Sharane World come on. You can actually see a calendar of different shows that actually come on for the day or the week or whatever, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and you can see other hosts of their shows and stuff. You know, so make sure y'all tune in if you are within the area or whatever to the WBDY 99.5 FM tomorrow. Every Friday at 6 p.m. I go live on the air. I spread awareness. So come join Sharane World. Live on the air, ladies and gentlemen. So you got Sharane World on YouTube and you got Sharane World live on the air on the WBDY 99.5. So listen, I'm super excited. Shout out to Crime Victims Assistance Center. You know, they gave me some flyers and things to give out. They're super supportive of what I'm doing out here in the streets. I appreciate them. Like, that's absolutely amazing. You know, I'm gonna give myself a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. If you out there and you feeling good, let me give you a big round of applause. Cause you know them narcissists and them DV people, what they do, ladies and gentlemen. They be lurking. Y'all make sure y'all stay off some dating apps. Listen, it ain't worth it. Listen, y'all got Sharane World here tonight. Let's go. Y'all know y'all not gonna catch me too long on a Friday night. Yeah, so listen. I would definitely let me tell y'all, I shared some things on my community wall, so y'all go check out those flyers that's up there, ladies and gentlemen. I did, if you did tune into my last live video that I did put the flyers up on my pages, so make sure y'all tune into those, check it out, come enjoy the barbecue, you know, support if you want to join or, you know, let's go. The rainbow is here. The whole goal is just getting the awareness, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the peace, and I'm super excited about the information I got from Crime Victims Assistance Center today. Yes, I told you I made my stop in here today. Hmm. I made my stop right in there. I'm super excited. It's beautiful in there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in Binghamton, Boone County, go check that area out. The Crime Victims Assistance Center right up on Robinson Street in Binghamton, New York. Check out that area. If you need some help, whatever it is, check them out. They're there. It's beautiful in there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. And I like to see that. That's absolutely nice. You know, when you're walking, it feels so comfortable, like you just don't want to leave, but it's absolutely amazing. Okay. Yeah. Y'all make sure y'all stay focused in Boone County. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that Thirsty Thursday awareness. If you haven't already, make sure y'all hit the like button. Come on over to YouTube. Drop whatever questions you need in the comments. Yeah. Yes, let's go, everybody. I know y'all probably at them clubs, them bars, and them shingdings, but y'all gonna see this video in the morning when y'all come back from the clubs and the bars and the shingdings. Listen, y'all ladies out here gotta get some awareness. You know, y'all narcissistic females, y'all definitely do. It's too much going on and too much going wrong with y'all. Y'all need some awareness, a lot of awareness, you know? And to all you men out there that's going through something, let me tell you something. Stay strong. Just stay strong, okay? You know, I totally understand, especially if you out there, you're not putting your hands on those females. You're not doing none of that. All you're trying to do is do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? So all I can say is just stay strong, you know, and do everything proper and don't react to these people. And it goes both ways, whether you have a male or a female, and you got to deal with some shenanigans like this, you know? You know, if you got to deal with something like that, there's people out there that could literally help you out so you don't have to navigate those systems by yourself. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, drop your comments. Let me know. Have y'all been through domestic violence? Have you been through a narcissistic abuse relationship? And if you haven't been through any of it or just been through domestic violence, you know, drop your questions in the comment section and I'll definitely answer some questions. You can ask me questions about my DV situation or my narcissistic abuse. It don't really matter. You know? Like I said, I'm a peer mentor survivor for domestic violence and narcissistic abuse, relationships for all women and men, right here. I spread awareness for everybody out here in the community, you know, from a survivor point of view. My goal is to make sure to help out all the survivors out here that, you know, they order protections be getting violated and, you know, their voices can't be heard. And listen, Sharane World is here. I'm here as a peer mentor survivor. For anybody that's out there in Boone County that needs somebody to talk to. Yeah. And if you out there and you going through something, no matter where you're located, okay, just listen to these videos, subscribe to my channel, listen to the videos. It's only going to get better, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It's just going to get better. And once it get better, that'll be, listen, you will feel so good about yourself when you come out of these situations. Like, even when I came out of my domestic violence situation, it was like I was there, you know what I'm saying? I did a video with the lies and stuff, but I was still trying to navigate through things, you know? I dealt with toxic things in between that before I met the narcissist, you know? Ladies and gentlemen, you got to keep it real with yourself when you're trying to heal. That's the number one problem that these females be having out here. They don't know how to keep it real with themselves. And these narcissists, they will never keep it real with themselves. You have to keep it real with yourself. Don't make it feel like everything is your fault, because it is not your fault what you went through or what you are going through, okay? It's not your fault whether you're a male or a female, okay? So take that blame off of you, okay? Yes. Remember, nobody deserves to be in a clown show. Nobody. People go unalive behind these situations. People, they don't make it home. Family members, you know, they gotta bury their kids. Listen, it gets real out here in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, justice for Ramika Blackman, aka Ramika Meek, right out in Chicago. You know, it's gonna always be that. Because at the end of the day, nobody deserves to go through nothing like that in this world. Nobody. Not no man, not no female, not no animals, not no kids. Nobody kids should be seeing this. Nobody kids should be taken away. Like these narcissists and these DV people are not gonna understand. You know, they don't care. Especially if you're in a domestic violence relationship, them people don't care. They just care for themselves. You know? And them DV relationships be more hard, you know, they're more hard because it's like, geez, you're stuck in this, you've been with this person, you don't know what to do, you don't know who to turn to, you got so much, you probably married to them, got kids with them, you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. But there's people out there that's licensed advocates, there's peer mentors, there are people out there that can navigate you in the right direction. You just gotta take the tools to be able to want to use it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Once you get them tools and use it, I'm telling you, you're gonna feel so much better after. So much better. Like everything is gonna feel so good when you get out these situations. And I'm not one of those peer mentor survivor community, you know, I'm not one of those that would tell you that, oh, when you get out of these situations, it will get very easy. No. You're gonna go through things. You're gonna have your ups and downs. When you're going through those ups and them downs, them highs and them lows, that's the part where you don't need to fall. That's when you gotta keep your head held high. It's okay, you're gonna cry. It's all right, you can do all the boo-hoo cry. You can get it all out, ladies and gentlemen. But once you start to, when you done, just make sure you have a plan so you could be able to move on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen. Get out the clown show. Stay off the social media dating apps. It's nothing good up there. It's nothing but the police. It's nothing but narcissists and people with deviant tendencies. And it's nothing but women up there that's probably selling their bodies right along with the men. All right. So there's nothing out there for you. If you're generally out there looking for somebody, you're not gonna find them on the social dating app. Okay. Stay off there, ladies and gentlemen, because all you're gonna do is get used and abused by these narcissists. Stay off those social media dating apps, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I don't care where you're located, nationwide, but especially in Broome County, stay off them dating apps because there's nothing up there. And I'm gonna bring awareness even more about this. We're gonna be alerted. We're gonna make sure everybody in the community knows. Stay off them dating apps. There's nothing good up there to the point that these narcissists is gonna be pushed to somewhere else. Do y'all know this is where they do their supplying at on social media, Facebook, dating apps, wherever, bars, clubs, shingling. This is how narcissists operate, ladies and gentlemen, on dating apps, and this is what they do. Y'all gotta stay focused out here in Boone County. Wake up, get off the dating apps. I might have to give me a big billboard, or y'all already know what Sharane World said. I'm coming out with my t-shirts. It's gonna have everything that Sharane World say. Stay off them dating apps. It's going. I'm listen. Sharane World even gonna have the shirt with the narcissist. It's going. It's gonna be so good. You know, people gonna want to buy it. It's gonna be good. You know, ladies and gentlemen, because it's going to be able to spread awareness in the most positive way so people can understand what is narcissistic abuse. We all know what domestic violence is. But ladies and gentlemen, are y'all open and woke and willing to understand what is narcissistic abuse? Are y'all willing to learn? Because if you are willing to learn right here in Boone County, then you will understand and you will use the tools and you won't come out here operating crazy out here in these streets, you know, because these girls out here think they on loving hip hop and they think they on baddies. You understand what I'm saying? And it's sad. And the men out here, you know, they talk to everybody girl, and it's absolutely ridiculous. It goes both ways. You know, they get up in them clubs, they get up in them bars, they get up in them shingles after hour spots, and it goes down. I've been telling you guys this for so long coming to YouTube. about how it goes down in Boone County. It makes it bad for anybody else that do want to come out and enjoy themselves. Do you know other people spend money on equipment or whatever they do to travel time or whatever just to come out and really genuinely enjoy their good time for that night? And then they have to sit amongst a crowd of people that's coming out and everything just turns left, ladies and gentlemen. Like, what is going on? Nobody wants to enjoy their stuff like that. People spend their hard-earned money to come out and have a good time, go back home and have a good time, and not have to wake up the next day and be like, oh, somebody's talking smack about you on the internet, or oh, this person saw you and they eyed you the wrong way and you ran into some, your narcissistic ex-supply, or it's just a whole bunch of stuff, or the dude you talking to or the girl you talking to, y'all running into it's crazy in Boone County. This is why everybody needs to wake up. Every time I turn around, there's always something going on and going wrong. You know? When everybody gets that education about, domestic violence, narcissistic abuse, toxic relationships, and all that shing ding 304 stuff that's going on in Binghamton, then maybe y'all will understand. And this is why I'm so happy to be that person, to be that peer mentor survivor advocate, to be that one to come out and to be able to use my voice and spread awareness about here in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, 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 yes. So listen, you guys got to stay focused right here locally in Boone County. And I appreciate you all if you watch this whole video. Round of applause because let me tell you something. This means a lot. Awareness means a lot. A lot of people are scared to talk about what is domestic violence. Anytime you could come on the internet and you talk about domestic violence, people don't want to hear it. People rather go watch the 304s and the love and hip hop and just all the other things, the demonic things or whatever. Granted, cool, it's cool, go watch it. But when it comes to domestic violence, people turn a blind eye. Oh, what are they talking about? Domestic violence, oh, we don't want to hear it until it's actually them or their family members going through it. So this is what I'm saying. If you see anybody out there, that's advocating for domestic violence or any type of, you know, advocate that's advocating for these type of things, support them. Show some support to it because this stuff is absolutely real. There are real people out there. Sharane World is definitely a living story. And y'all gotta understand, get up out these toxic things, man. Listen, I get that, y'all guys want to watch the other stuff, but when it comes to DV, start supporting more, because then it would get more people to open up. It would get more men to open up. It would get people to really start speaking up about what they're really going through. And then, DV could be tackled by any angle of what's going on when the community starts to speak up and, let everybody know what's going on, what needs to be changed, listen. Get out them toxic shows, ladies and gentlemen. This is the longest I came on for a YouTube video. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give me a big super round of applause for that too. I'm just saying, because my whole goal is just making sure that you guys get this awareness, is making sure if you guys could sit there and listen to all the toxic negative stuff on somebody else's YouTube channel that sits up there for 2 hours or 3 hours, and y'all tune into that, then you guys could tune into Sharane's World when it comes to domestic violence and narcissistic abuse for women and men nationwide and in New York State and Binghamton. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it is real. People are going unalive. People are going through mental issues. People are going through things, and people are still stuck in the victim stage, ladies and gentlemen. So, this is why we need more people to speak up. So, men, if you out there, speak up. Use your story. Speak up. Stop allowing the toxic things to happen. Just know you're not gonna find your wife in the clubs and the bars and the shingdings all the time, or sitting around 3 or 4 friends all the time. And just know you're not gonna find them on a dating app if they act like narcissists and things like that. You're not gonna find that because there are people that go up there that genuinely look for real love. And then you got these narcissists that's out there operating wicked. So make sure y'all stay focused. Just stay off them dating apps and find true love out and about in this world. Okay. There's millions of people of humans out here in this world. All right, you don't have to get on the social dating apps. You're not gonna find nothing good out of that. And I don't know what more to tell you guys, especially right here located in Binghamton. If you're trying to find somebody that's located within the southern tier, the whole southern tier in Binghamton, trust and believe you're not finding nobody. Even if they say they from a different area, but they reside in Binghamton, it does not matter. Okay, the water is damaged. Okay, there is something in the water in Broome County that is no good. Okay, and if you want to test that water and get up in there, then you're gonna figure it out, and it's not gonna be good for you. I keep telling people, narcissistic abuse is real. Domestic violence is real. You like narcissistic abuse can literally unalive you before a domestic violence relationship can. And it's sad to say that, but it's true. A narcissistic relationship can unalive you as quicker than a domestic violence. And ladies and gentlemen, you gotta stay focused on that because let me tell you why and how it can. Okay, you know, it can knock off your blood levels, your vitamin levels. It can knock off everything out of whack, and you could be running on E. It's like having a car and everything in the car on the outside looks nice, but then in the inside, the oil, there's no oil, there's nothing like to keep everything going. You know, eventually your body's gonna shut down and you're gonna have to go to the hospital because you're out of whack. Like these narcissists and these DV people, that have these tendencies mixed together, they're gonna have you like that. Every time they call you, it's always something, like meaning either they have an issue or they was into an issue in the street or they was just doing something. And y'all gotta be careful. Another thing, ladies and gentlemen, don't deal with nobody that has street pharmacist activities. Okay? No street pharmacist activities at all, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? If you're dealing with anybody that has street pharmacist activities or lying about what they're doing out there in them streets to get money, then that's not the person for you. Because you can be the easy target just by being with that person while they're doing that street pharmacist activities. All right. Don't register no cars in your name, no insurance or anything like that because they will do street pharmacist activities in that car registered to you, and it doesn't matter if they have the title in their name or not, you will still be held reliable and responsible for those situations. You don't want to be held reliable for no issues that you didn't do, okay? But you will if you register and insure any cars in your name and you allow these narcissists to drive it and they're selling drugs or they're doing whatever. And most of the times they have multiple supplies in that car. And then let's say you meet a narcissist, you meet somebody, and then you don't know who their car is registered to because that's not the question that anybody's gonna ask the person, right? Granted, now you get in a car and out of nowhere there's issues going on, girls popping up or whatever issues. You understand what I'm saying? So now you gotta ask questions, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I got my answers, and shout out to the narcissist for giving me the answers that I needed because um if I was one of them ditzy people, I probably would have still been love bombed and gaslit and still been in that situation. But what I did was I opened my third eye and I got myself out of that situation. You understand? Because like I keep telling y'all, if I was to allow the narcissist to continue to do what he was doing to me, it could have happened. But no, I didn't allow it to happen because why? I stopped it. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't allow the narcissist to continue to keep love bombing, gaslighting me, telling me that we're gonna move out of town and start fresh. We were engaged, there was a ring and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't hearing all of that because your actions don't match your words. And honestly, you're out here with multiple supplies anyway, so it ain't no good. So, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta nip that in the butt. And it's too much DV, it's too much going on. And ladies and gentlemen, when you go into a relationship or you meet somebody and you know what your pure intentions are, you telling them, you're putting everything on the table. They're telling you, they're putting everything on the table. You're respecting everything to move according, right? You're getting to know the person, X, Y, and Z down the road. If that's the person for you, boom. Every relationship out there that's healthy do have arguments in it. But I'm gonna tell you one thing about a healthy relationship. from a narcissistic or DV relationship. A healthy one, you'll be able to communicate what's going on and going wrong with no issues. Nobody being mad, nobody going to bed mad, nobody going to cheat with multiple supplies. If you lose a job, uh, a healthy relationship, that other person is going to pick up the slack and until you get back on your feet and then y'all continue to build. Now if that man lose the job, you're going to pick up the slack until they get back on their feet and you're going to build. There's not going to be no cheating. There's not going to be none of that going on in a healthy relationship. Okay, boom. Now when you're dealing with a narcissist or somebody that got DV tendencies and toxic tendencies, this is what's going to happen. All right, you're going to get a job. All right, they're gonna have a job. Okay, they're gonna lose their job. You're gonna pick up the slack for them because that's what you're gonna do as your partner. But what's gonna happen is that narcissist is not gonna get a job. You know what they're gonna do is they're gonna go get multiple supplies to feed that need. You may still be supplying them to help them out, because you're not knowing what they're doing in the cut. But what a narcissist, whether they're a male or a female, and I'm just giving y'all the rundown, speaking from experience from my narcissistic ex, what they do is they go get other supplies to feed that need while they're still getting the supply from you, right? So, boom, let me give you an example. When my narcissistic ex lost his job, right? He had car payments. Sharane World don't got car payments. I own my car, okay? So he had car payments. My car was sitting out. It was parked up, sitting out, or whatever the case may be. I didn't have plates on my car, anything like that, right? So it was sitting out. With the DMV and stuff like that. So boom, he had car payments when he lost his job, ladies and gentlemen. What Sharane World did, as a person that says, oh, we're gonna get married, we got a ring, all this X, Y, and Z and stuff like that. You know what I did? I helped him out. You understand what I'm saying? So Sharane World helped him out. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Then he loses his job, right? Loses the job. Guess who gets blamed for it, ladies and gentlemen? Y'all wanna know who? Hold on. Let's do this like this. Sherane World, me, I got accused for him, losing his job. Crazy work, of course. So when you in them situations, you're trying to like help them out and you're trying to feel sorry for them and they're trying to make it seem like it's your fault. Oh, I was sick and it's because I was always with you and I was too in love and all of this and all of that. Mind you, I used to help them. Listen. Do y'all want Sharane World to keep on talking? Because Sharane World got all day and all night. Listen, let's go. We're going to get into it, okay? So the narcissist lost his job. All right, copy, cool. You lost your job. Yeah. Everybody loses a job, right? Boom. Oh, but I was sick and X, Y, and Z. Okay, everybody loses a job. I don't lost the job before. You go home, you boo-hoo, and you pick your feet back up and you go get a new one. Right or wrong, ladies and gentlemen? Okay. But no, not when it comes to people with narcissistic tendencies. Okay. So what the narcissist did, he still continued to get the supply from me. Y'all gotta remember, Sherane World is not in the street. I'm not in the clubs. I'm not in the bars. I'm not in them shingdings. I don't be having bottles to my mouth. I don't be doing that stuff. All right. I'm not out there. Okay. So I don't know what's going on out in these streets in Boone County when it comes to whatever he's doing in these streets. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay. So y'all want me to still get into it? Let's go. Welcome to Shireen's World. So yeah, so the narcissist loses the job, blames me, he boo-hoos and cry, boo-hoos and cry, he cry. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, I could say it the way I'm saying it now because it's crazy, but he boo-hooed and cried and cried and cried and cried about it, right? Boom, copy cool. Now you're still trying to help him, but the narcissist is still doing things in the cut. You don't know what's going on, okay? You don't know that he's out there doing things in the cut. You understand what I'm saying? Because the narcissist knows your timing. He's picking you from work, whatever the case. You don't know. And then we're together all the time. So when the narcissist has time to do his shingdings, is when I'm at the workplace. Or if I say I'm gonna go home for a couple of hours or so, because Me and the narcissist was together all the time, ladies and gentlemen, unless he went out to the shindig or with his brother or whatever. But here's the deal: they use their family members as as excuses, and things. But listen, we're gonna get back into the narcissist losing his job. So the narcissist lost his job, right? Do y'all still think the narcissist got his job? No, ladies and gentlemen, he still don't have that. He still don't have that, ladies and gentlemen, to this day. And the crazy thing about it, the narcissist lost his job a couple of days before my birthday, 2025. Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. And that's sad, but you know what? They turn to supplies, cars go register to other supplies, and it get wicked out there. And then you don't have time to keep listening to sorries, I'm sorry, and the love bombing, and then other things are going on in the cut. Nobody has time for that. And then you're out and about in the street, always getting into something. Who has time to be walking around with anybody, male or female, that's always getting into something, ladies and gentlemen? You tell me, do you guys have time for that? Because I don't think anybody has time for that. Because, like I said, you could end up unalive behind these situations even if you're not in a domestic situation, even if you could just be chilling with somebody that's like that, right? There's a story that went down in Brooklyn maybe months back where this girl was in a car with a dude that she was just chilling with. They went to a party, they came out the bar, the club, and it was in a car, and somebody pulled up on a car and it was going. They let loose, and both like it's crazy out here. So y'all gotta stay safe. All right, y'all make sure y'all stay safe in Boone County, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome to Sharane, that late awareness. Well, we're gonna give it that long awareness, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate y'all. Welcome to Sharane. Yes, make sure y'all tune in before I head up out of here. Y'all know y'all not gonna get me here for that long. Y'all make sure y'all tune right on into Sharane right here on YouTube. Okay, tune right on in. If you're on my support group page, make sure you tune in. Tell a friend. Sure, you can even share this video to one of your suppliers just because you ain't got the time to talk. It could be your cat, your dog, your grandpa, your grandma. It don't matter who they are. The awareness matters. Let me just say, big round of applause to everybody out there that survived. Big round of applause. Yes. If you survived any domestic violence relationship, any narcissistic abuse relationship, big round of applause to you. And if you are a victim, you're still stuck in that situation, you don't know what to do, you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's going wrong, Sharane World is here for you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all get the tools in your pocket. Do whatever it is that you gotta do. As long as y'all staying focused out here in these streets, that is the whole goal. Y'all gotta stay focused in Boone County. Anywhere, no matter where you at, no matter where you located. Because like I said, I spread awareness nationwide. Yes. We gotta definitely set the trend. We gotta set the trend. People gotta definitely understand that it is real out here in these streets. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? Y'all gotta get the awareness. You don't have to. But if you wanna heal, you definitely is going to listen and you're going to tune in, you're going to understand what's going on, you're going to do your research. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all stay safe, make sure your doors is locked. Y'all know y'all got to do that safety awareness at nighttime. Because I'm not definitely will try to lurk on you at a nighttime. Yeah. They will lurk on you at nighttime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sharane World right here on YouTube. I appreciate you all for rocking out with me. That means a lot. It means absolutely a lot. You know, you rocked all the way out with me on Sharane's World. hmm Let's go. Welcome, everybody. We're going to get into some more awareness. Like I said, y'all going to get the awareness that you need. Everybody, let's go. Welcome to Sharane's World. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure your doors is locked, okay? Make sure y'all have all your safety tools in your pocket, okay? Make sure y'all got everything that you need. Make sure you get the awareness, do your education, look it up, okay? You never know. You never know. And the whole goal is just to break that cycle, okay? You got to keep saying it because then maybe it'll get through your head. Because if you break that cycle, you'll be so much happy. Absolutely happy. You will be amazed about what you can do when you come about these situations. You understand? I appreciate everybody for supporting the movement, for understanding what's going on and what's going wrong. And like I said, I've been in your shoes, so I I know what it feels like to be in them TV shelters. I know what it feels like to be crying. I know what it feels like with the manipulation and the going the back and forth thing with them. I totally get that. And I totally get what it feels like, where you have to keep sitting there talking to police and talking to DAs and talking to advocates. I get it. You just want it to be all over with. You don't want to deal with all of that, right, ladies and gentlemen? But I get it. So once you break that cycle, you will understand and you will get up out that clown shower dealing with these narcissists and people with DV tendencies. Because let me tell you something. Anybody with DV tendencies and they putting their hands on you, no good, ladies and gentlemen. That is not good at all. So y'all stay focused right here locally in Boone County. Remember, keep y'all hands to yourself. Okay? You gotta keep your hands to yourself. Listen, Sharane World is up here. And I'm just making sure y'all get the tools. That's all. Everybody gotta get the tools because it's real out here. I wonder what everybody doing tonight. They probably have some clubs, some bars, and some machine things. They probably have some after hours spots. Well, the after hours spots ain't starting yet. I hope they learn their lesson because it ain't cool up out here. Everybody got to get the awareness out here, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, I appreciate everybody for rocking out with me for this long. This is the longest live video I did. But some people be wanting it. They be wanting the long videos. So I be want to come up here with the short videos, but when you get too much into the awareness, it's like, you gotta keep going. It's like you got the word. Yes. Like I said, if you support the channel, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it, tell a friend. Join my support group channel. It's on Facebook. It's called Domestic Violence and Narcissistic Relationships I Survive. Also, check out my community wall. Okay, all my flyers is posted up there. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you don't want to miss any of the events that's going on. Alrighty. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good, and it's just gonna be something to get you out the door if you are going through something right here locally in Boone County or the surrounding areas. Even if you're in PA, Pinks in PA, Kings of Prussia, Eastern PA. It doesn't matter if you're all the way in Albany. Just come on down to these events. Get yourself out the door, you and your family, and just come have some fun. Okay? The whole goal, make sure y'all break that cycle. Make sure y'all get the awareness right here locally in Boone County. And I hope everybody is staying safe. I really do hope everybody is staying safe out here because it's real and it will really hurt to see, other people going through it. Like I said, when I see people locally in the street and they tell me what's going on with them, I try to give them as much resources and, as much help that I can. As me being an empath, when I hear these stories, it's like I soak it all in, ladies and gentlemen, especially for people that's not locally here in the area. And I get the information from them through my support group page on Facebook. Because some people will inbox me for like resources to the area. So no matter where you're located, if you watch this video to the end, if you need some type of resources, no matter, like I said, I'm in New York State, I'm in Binghamton, New York, Boone County. But no matter where you're located, you can definitely reach out, drop it in my community wall. Just say resources and just put the area. You don't gotta put the full information, okay? And I'll come back in those comments and I will search up whatever's in the area that fits for you. Okay, but if you're right here locally in Boone County, in the surrounding area of the Southern Tier, ladies and gentlemen, reach out to Sharane World or reach out to these licensed advocates out here. They're out here to help you. But if you need a peer mentor survivor to navigate you through that because you're going through so much, because that's what we're here for, reach out to me through my support group page on Facebook. You can find me on my main page. Um, and I figure out how to navigate that. But also you can reach me out on my YouTube channel as well. Okay. I'm here, ladies and gentlemen, all for support, all for awareness, all about the peace. It's not here to call nobody out. It's not here to be friends with nobody's supplies. It's not here to do anything like that. And if y'all got supplies out there in them streets, share my channel with them too. Share my pages. You don't got to do the talking. You could just share the pages, and they'll get the awareness. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's real, and somebody has to call them out on everything that they're doing out here. It has to be somebody. You know, um, Somebody has to be the bigger person. We need more people to speak up. Boone County, y'all got to speak up. It's a lot of toxic going on out here. So I appreciate everybody. Welcome to Sharane's World right here on YouTube. I'm going to start heading up out of here. I hope everybody have a blessed night. And remember, stay focused. Remember, it's that Thirsty Thursday long awareness tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So if you made it to the end, drop a comment. Drop a purple heart in the comments. You ain't even got to say nothing. Just drop a purple heart. If you're a female, drop a purple heart. If you're a male, drop a blue heart. You ain't even got to say nothing. Keep it pushing. Let's go. I appreciate y'all all. And it felt good to talk to everybody tonight. I just hope everybody got this long awareness and understand what's going on and going wrong around here. And just get the awareness and the education and break your cycle. Later, everybody. Welcome to Sharane World.
You got a long way to go. Rock with me now.